Welcome to What Do You Say? The podcast that peels back the layers of remarkable individuals to reveal their extraordinary sides and their incredible lives. I'm your host, Frank Termini, and I'm absolutely thrilled to embark on this journey with you. The podcast name's What Do You Say? But that's not how it's said.
How do you say it?
We say.
What do you say?
We say.
What do you say?
We say.
What do you say?
You got it. We say.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to What Do You Say? My name's Andrew Termini. Before I kick it off to my brother Frank and your host, please go out there, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. And Frank?
You know, I get calls all the time and people complimenting us, doing a great job. I showed you what
I see
Matt Coon said, and
Yeah.
all kinds of people. Brett Bailey, hey, I'm enjoying the pot, but nobody likes us.
I mean,
They don't click the button.
you got to really pound it home.
Sometimes you gotta have a little finesse though.
Yeah, or sometimes we just need to
Click
pull.
that fucker.
We just need to pull up like
I click.
lean hog futures and go over some charts and just until people click. If we were live, that's what we would do.
If we were what?
We were live, we would just like go over something super boring until people finally click the like button, and then we start talking again.
Yeah.
But we're not live. This is pre-recorded, everyone.
I click like.
Do you?
Always click like.
Yeah. Who?
I click like because then it sends you more shit like that.
Yeah.
And then you ultimately end up seeing the stuff that you want to see.
Then you're just drowned by it.
Yeah.
Echo chamber.
But there's so many different types of things that it could be a fitness thing. It could be, there's these two guys on Facebook that do like these different workouts. I'm like, man. So, or maybe somebody makes a comment that I like or something.
Yeah.
So we probably should introduce our guest.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Well, let's have our guest scoot that mic a little bit closer to his face.
Okay. Right here.
Yeah, that's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
He's like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. That's right. I don't know what to do with my hands.
So we got Tony George Pisciotta, a.k.a. Tony the Barber, Tony the Fireman.
Yep.
Tony, you got a lot of hats you wear.
I wear a lot of hats.
He is a master of many trades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack of all trades.
Master of none.
Master of none.
What do you actually do? What is your position that you hold at Elevate?
That's
Are you like the comptroller where you just
That's
fucking
like
do everything?
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm like a utility guy, like a Ben Zobrist of the Royals, 14, 15.
You just do it all.
Just, whatever needs to be done, I get done. Mainly, I started off.
Now, what's Elevate? Let's explain that to our guests.
Elevate is a vertically integrated
Cannabis company.
Yes, that has grows. How many grows?
We got 3 grows in the state of Missouri.
3 grows,
Yep.
like 12 to 14 dispensaries. Have some in Arizona too.
Yep, and one and a grow in Arizona.
Do we have a grow in Arizona? Okay.
Yep, it launches.
You think
June.
I would know this?
I know it's this company moves so fast.
Here, he sends me emails, and like the only thing I'm looking at is, are we getting a distribution? And I'm like, okay, we're not. I'll look at the next one.
Archive. Yep.
Yeah, because you certainly don't need my help driving the ship.
Yeah, I started off just kind of in the cannabis industry with years ago when it was still looked down upon. Right, I opened a smoke shop as a.
I remember down the north end.
Yep, King Deweys. Yep.
Wasn't it right by my grandpa's barbershop?
Andy's
Well,
barbershop.
we can go
next
back
door.
even before then.
We can
Back to
Al's Pawn,
Al's
in
Pawn,
Como, Missouri.
Shout out to Al Gallo.
Al-
Hold on. Al Gallo made a lot of money in that business.
He's done well.
He was a grower.
Yeah.
Gallo Farms. Yeah, in Colorado. He moved out there. He took the jump.
Hold on, he moved back.
Yeah, he's home now.
Yeah.
I saw him. the
Oh
other day.
man, I need to see that guy.
Yeah,
He's
I
so
tell you,
fun.
I was at Benny Abbott's father's funeral, right? Or visitation.
Right.
And I'm waiting in line, and I look over, and I see these eyebrows, and that shit-eating grin that Albert's got. And I beelined right to Al. I just loved on him, and I was like, where the hell you been, you
He's
son of
the
a-"
best.
You
This
know,
Albert I gotta give my current venture, right, Albert a lot of credit for that, the knowledge and the introduction into the industry, and then with the pipes and everything, because that's how he got started, and he started wholesaling.
Here, you know who's doing it now and's crushing it is cousin Tony Mike Scola.
Yeah.
The Smoke Depot.
Is that what it's called? I don't even know the name of the business.
Shout out to Tone Smoke Depot.
Yeah. He's killing it.
He does great. He held my hand quite a bit in the beginning.
Tony Mike,
yeah. It comes full circle, right? So when I was getting out of King Deweys, I basically sold them guys whatever I had at cost, basically, to get them started. Tony Mike and
so does Tony Mike sells glass?
He wholesales accessories, yeah.
Accessories. So it's not just pipes. There's probably all kinds of
all
weird
sorts
shit.
of stuff. Yeah,
and grinders or whatever.
Blunt wraps.
Vapes. He's got vapes.
Wholesales it to dispensaries.
Yes, and smoke shops.
Smoke shops.
All sorts. So there's still smoke shops are still alive and well.
Maybe even cigar shops.
Some, yeah. I couldn't see why they wouldn't
Yeah.
dip their toe in that water.
Yeah.
I'm sure their customers fumati a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's. I mean, I know because Tony Mike actually every Friday morning he'll work out with me.
Oh, cool.
And so we were shooting the breeze, and I could tell that he's super busy because while he's working out, he's not really there.
Well, and you know how it is.
And what I'm saying is and you could tell he's in a hurry because he's got to hurry up and get to whatever it is he's got to do.
There ain't enough hours in the day.
There's not enough hours in the day. No, you can see he's grinding.
Tells true more and more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's he helped me a lot, kind of get a little more into the a bigger scale because I had just done it by myself, and I just messed with Chuck, and it was like, hey, it's why don't you have this or that in the stores, and then he gave me an opportunity, and that has evolved.
I wish I had the money. I'd buy that liquor store.
Yeah, it's going to be being sold here pretty soon, too.
Well, Uncle Jimmy's looking for a buyer.
I talked to him the other
It'd
day.
be crazy not
Talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him the other day.
Did he find one?
I don't know if he's found one.
Talking about Jubilee?
No. He's looking to sell Paul's liquor.
Oh.
But he wants to sell not just the
property.
He wants to sell, but he's got a lot of properties. He's trying to sell.
He's got the laundromat next door.
Yeah, there used to be a barber shop in there.
Yeah. So
Smoke.
But I think he may even have some property.
Oh, yeah. He's bought up a lot of property around
on
there.
Troost somewhere.
It's like Ollie Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He owns all that down Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Does he own all that down there?
By Gates Barbecue,
Does he?
the whole property surrounding, yeah.
Well, I knew he owned some property, but I just didn't know how much. But I know he's looking to sell the whole thing. But God darn, I don't.
You got to be married to it,
Well, here at the end of the day, it's so lucrative.
Yeah.
I mean, look at people who own liquor stores. But here,
you got to have faith in it, though. You got to constantly deal with,
Oh, anything that's going to make a lot of money is going to be a grind. But what I'm saying is, there's probably a lot of tricks to that trade, right? Like,
volume.
Well, but you got to know how to deal with that. That's
a rough community to deal with.
It's a rough community to deal with.
Yeah, and they've been there so long that they've become a staple in the neighborhood, and everybody knows not to jack around with the people at Paul's Liquor because they're like family to all these people. I mean, he saw Tech Nine grow up. I mean, Tech used to go into Paul's Liquor. I mean, he raps about it in his songs. I mean, to this day, if I run into Tech, he'll know that I'm Paul's nephew.
Does he really?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. No, it's cool little spot.
But look at
Tone's a good guy.
Every single person that owns a liquor store. I mean, those guys do well.
You grind.
Yeah,
you grind though.
Yeah, but you
gotta have faith in your employees a lot, and you're constantly high turnaround.
There's the other side of it though. Like there's, and I won't name the liquor store, but a family member of ours who owns a liquor store. Well, Italian people are not really family, but family.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of guys getting killed inside of it.
Right. You got no. Here at the end of the day, they're in areas that they thrive in areas that are what's the word I want to say?
Alcohol's a poison anyway. I mean, that stuff makes people violent and across the board and do ignorant things.
Socioeconomically challenged.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the politically correct term, but
What the fuck? Who knows what's politically correct anymore? We're probably going to get into that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're going to. We're sitting here with the guy who's
Listen.
been known to stir the pot of Facebook.
Ultimately, why we put him on here, because there's a definite conflicting views.
let me just say this. Just because I know about certain things, I don't always, buy in or believe everything, right? I just like to understand lots of different angles into situations, right?
Well, but what I'm saying is like, okay, if you're sitting here and the thesis behind this is we have Tony, the left-wing atheist.
No.
Well, he's throwing a tag on you too soon.
Yeah, way too soon.
Hold on.
Long form, you'll understand that I'm more center than you think. And maybe my jabs, my little, I can come off as...
So let's call you left of center and
fiscally conservative.
I don't even know if
socially liberal, I guess.
I don't even know that you call him left to center. What I will say is that if he knows where you stand, he knows both sides of the coin.
I'll make you question what you believe is what I try and do. I just like you to open. People can take me any way they want, right?
You're not going to give me left of center. Are you really not going to give it?
It's close enough. Yeah, it's close enough.
Okay.
I think it's more complicated than that. But
I'll give
you that.
I'll give myself right of center, because I wouldn't call myself.
I would say you're more delusioned that you're right of center. I think well, to be perfectly honest, Democrats and Republicans are right of center. Okay. It is. It's crazy when you look at it like that, but it is. They're still on that capitalist-centric side, right? Which that capitalism in itself is right of center, right? It's just how it works. You got there's scales and graphs and all that stuff. You got anarchist, which is full left, like let's just throw our hands up and figure it out.
Let's tribe up.
Yeah.
Let's live in huts.
Basically, which
let's do yoga inside
would be
of hot
fun
tents.
for like short periods of time.
Yeah,
like a vacation spot. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Live on the land.
Let's turn it off for a month. That's one.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Frank's like, is there a shitter around? Can I shower?
Always. Yes, of course.
No shot.
No, like and a lot of people tag me as a socialist, right, or whatever, which I'm not. I'm a capitalist too. I'd like to have some more Zorthy, but I think there needs to be more socialist programs for sure. Like education should be free.
Okay, so here, this is
we could pay $90 billion to Ukraine, and we'll get into all that.
Hold on, I think that's fucking ignorant.
No, it's not. It's not. I'll tell you what I think I know. Right? I'm.
So we're going to talk politics first, or are we going to?
We can do whatever. Let's let the dice fall.
This is why he thinks that I'm delusionally right of center.
I know he's free education.
I'm 100%. Here, let me just say it this way. Nobody should want an education and not be able to get it.
Exactly.
No one.
Okay.
No one.
So if that holds true, which I agree, and you can pretty much learn everything you need to know on YouTube. But
no way.
No.
By someone who thinks they know.
I get it. Okay, I get it.
Right.
So if education should be free, then healthcare should also.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that.
Welcome left, boys.
That is
welcome left. See, I told you.
He immediately likes to put you in that.
No, it's just it's called common ground, right?
But that's
not left or right.
It
is though. It's used.
That's a moral compass issue.
But it's
Tone.
used politically as to define left and right. It is.
I can't imagine what kind of asshole would say
monsters that are
somebody
greedy.
does not deserve to
We're the
have
United
right to
States of America, because
I can't imagine that.
you know we should be the like Finland has free healthcare and education, right?
Well, I mean, think about
and
it.
they're kicking our ass and everything.
A society
Besides
is
dollars.
they're
right?
only as strong as their weakest link. So if you take the underprivileged and those folks who can't afford school and you provide them a vehicle to become middle or upper class, now what happened to your society?
So
now your weakest link
Yeah.
is a middle class person who's paying taxes.
Frank, but you can't enslave the people who are educated, and I feel like
How are you enslaving people
enslaving
who are educated?
okay, that's what I'm saying. You
Jack off comment.
yeah.
hold on.
Get them out of here. Put them in the bathroom.
Hold on. You hear me out here.
Yeah.
I feel that the
Fucking thing. I just want to drink.
I know them.
the ultra elite want to control the masses. And if they can control the masses, to educate everyone is going to cause a shit ton of pushback. So that would be the other side of the coin. There's why people who are ultra capitalists, who are capitalizing off education, are like, we don't want everybody to go to get educated, because the more educated
Then
they
they're
are,
not.
the less I can control them.
Then they
Well,
are
here-
self-centered. Listen, I get it. You got to have a dump. That's Reaganomics, cuz.
Right, but here,
How is that Reaganomics?
It is. You wanted to
Here,
you need a working class, right?
a person who's got
They've been trying to break unions and everything else to do exactly what you're talking about for the last
you
50
separate
years.
you separate and keep people ignorant. They're easier to control. And if you got
but why should we be for that?
I am not for that. I'm just saying that I believe people who've got
I truly believe to talk to, how do I want to say it, to kind of build on what you're saying. I truly believe that the government gives the shit that they give to the underprivileged specifically to keep them under their thumb. And the underprivileged don't recognize it. I mean, look at what they're giving them, right? They give them what? They give them a cell phone. They'll give them a food stamp. But why? Here, it's like giving them a fish, but you won't give them a hook and a worm and a pole.
right.
Teach them how to catch it.
Absolutely, they do. They give them plenty of opportunity for that. But it's not.
No, they don't.
It's the communities. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand that property tax is affected directly by your the education system around you, right?
Personal property tax?
Personal property tax.
Fucking scam.
But
My
listen,
taxes didn't go up that much. You know where I get buried? My insurance.
Yeah, insurance gets you.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But property tax, all right? Think about it up here. Staley, right? You got
Liberty North.
Liberty North, real great schools. And then you got Tonka, right? You got Oak. Well, I don't know how Oak Park's handling anymore. I got no idea. I never even walked.
Park
They've
Hill,
actually,
Park
they've
Hill
actually
South.
expanded a little bit.
But
They got a new football field.
what I'm saying is the pool of funding is around your neighborhood and not to the city. That's why the city of Kansas City's always had issues with their education system and paying people and resources and all this stuff, because you got the inner cities and then you got little spots of wealth around that. That's like when they, it's the way it is, Northeast, right? You got Gladstone Boulevard that's got all the, it's like the Ward Parkway of Northeast, right?
They still got some really nice homes on Gladstone
yes,
Boulevard.
they're going for 300,000 plus million.
Well, here, those houses in the North End that are 100 years old. You ain't getting into the North
all
End for under 200,000.
It's all
200,000. You kidding me?
gentrification.
You ain't getting even close to 200,000.
More than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even those houses right behind Holy Rosary, like where Grandpa Romano
Oh,
used to live.
absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
All like artists and
yeah.
yuppies and shit like that.
They're high dollar. I remember selling a
Grandpa Romano owned that fourplex. Could you imagine?
That house is so awesome.
Fucking awesome.
A buddy of mine, I forget his name, but I worked when I was at the shop. He was great. And Brett, I think his name. I remember him. But the place is what they've done with it is incredible. Like as a home now, I mean, it's levels and the whole garage doors, the ceiling opens up.
In 2001, I sold Vince Saragusa's
I remember that house. Yes.
home and his parents' home.
Right.
And I think it sold, if I'm not mistaken, for like $185,000. And that house is the biggest house in one of the biggest houses, if not the biggest house.
Mr. LaSalle's house was pretty big
In the North End. And
that
I
house
would
is
I would
awesome.
venture to say that
Henry.
that house is probably $500,000 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
The since we're on the topic of the North End, another hat that I wore. I've been a kind of an activist in the Italian community for over a decade. With Sons of Columbus.
Yeah, for sure.
American Sons of Columbus. I've helped out Unico National.
You helped organize the Firefighter
Oh yeah, the
Italian Heritage.
Italian Heritage.
Month of
Italian American Heritage
October, right?
photo. Yep. With
Yeah,
all
month of
the
October.
local all the guys from years past. And
We had a massive turnout.
it was great. It was a cool feeling.
Yeah.
Pumper 14 was there and Pumper 25.
Yeah.
The significance of those two rigs, they were the only places where Italians could work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're quick to forget.
You should be.
We're quick to forget that people stereotyped us just like people get we
Oh,
other
yeah.
stereotype
Hold
and
on.
our racism.
Why
and,
do you think my mom's family changed the name to Miller?
Yeah, no, I get it.
And here, why do you think none of our families spoke Italian? They didn't want no one to know they were
I know.
Italian.
And now listen, we're gonna go into a whole nother can of worms here, but we're doing the same thing now with Hispanics and every other culture that comes into this country. And we're on the other side of it now,
Well,
right?
hold
No,
on.
don't see. Hold on. Here's where it's going to go. This is the shit, right? Everybody's doing it. Oh, I'm American now, right? Well, at one time we were WAPs, right? We were WAPs, Road,
Hold on.
and WAPs, is without papers. That's no different than the illegals. And who was it? It was military-aged males coming across the border in millions, right? WAPs, right? Italian American immigrants, right? We were going to war too with Italy, the Mussolini and all that,
World War II.
It's the same situation, just a new day.
It's not.
It's a new day.
The
Road.
argument isn't that that the people from the Mexicans can't come over. That is not the argument. The argument is come over on the right terms.
Yeah,
Go
sure. We
through
did that too. It was Louisiana Purchase, right?
Go through the
They said,
proper
"Oh my
channels."
God, we got to control this. There's too many of these freaking WAPs coming through." No, seriously, that's what they were doing. Then they started ferrying everybody in through Ellis Island, right? It's just a process. It wasn't immediate. It took time. It was over a decade, that they even figured out that shit. And we're just living in one of those. It's peaks and valleys, right? There's down times, and then there's good times and bad, right?
But-
We got to figure out. You got to find the answers to these
I
solutions.
don't disagree with Texas saying, here, fuck you. You're not just coming over.
He's putting on a show too, though. He's putting on a
But
show.
my question is, okay, so let's
Them
here.
guys are like abandoned ship. It froze over
who
and
is
shit
he?
down there.
Let's
The governor of Texas.
Abbott.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the governor.
Governor Abbott. Yeah.
And he basically told Biden to pound sand because Biden told him take him down, and he said, no, I'm not taking him down.
Yeah. No, I
The
get it.
real question
I
is
understand.
why is the president of the United States condoning people just fucking coming in?
I think it's but listen,
Because
you got to
he's
understand.
retarded.
No, it's not because
Half retarded.
listen, the Republicans put out a bill to shut down the border and add judges and do all these things, right? The Republicans built the bill. Say what you want about the guy. A conservative Republican wrote the bill. It was all approved by their teams and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, they're coming close. Donnie gets on TV and on his little Truth Social and says, hey, don't pass that through because I want to campaign on the bad border. Right? Then all these loyalists start turning, saying, well, we can't vote on that. So we can't solve the problems because they're playing politics, right? This is why I don't buy into either side, right? I think it's all bullshit
100%.
because they know that these guys had the solution, or at least somewhat of a solution. But instead, they're playing, well, shit, we better have one of our guys on top, which is crazy to me because, I mean, the guy's a loon. I mean, I'll say this, and I'll be the first one to say it. I voted for him in 2016, right? Like I said, I'm center as fuck because I voted for 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, well, 3 and 3 now. 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans I voted for. I do not pick a team, right? My team's the country, first and foremost. But you got to kind of look at it, it's like they're always going to give us the lesser of 2 evils.
I'm going to sum up politics and parties very easily.
Yeah.
We're going to gather as much information on what people on a this or
hot button items.
Hot button items on a this or that. And we've got to take a stance because we have to divide people. Well, we want to pull as many people as we can into our politics and our party. So
it's a numbers game.
We have to figure out, and the more topics you could find to divide people and get them
irritated with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's going to win that battle? Is it going to be this or is it going to be that?
Sure. Well, at the end of the day, you got to look at, I mean, really, what is driving someone to vote, right? Or to which way they're voting. More often than not, except in this previous election, what was driving it was their pocket.
Their pocket, but really
but this past one wasn't the case. Because really, the middle-aged women they voted for Biden because they just fucking hated Trump, right? They weren't.
They should. Well, that guy's a monster, man.
He's not a monster.
He's a monster. Listen, right here. Hold on. We got 2 Catholics running for president right now, and 1 atheist, clear atheist, that's selling Bibles for legal fees right now. Right. Seriously, you got Bobby Kennedy and Joe Biden, who are open Catholics, right?
I take Bobby Kennedy all day long.
All day. I love him too.
I love Bobby Kennedy.
But
you also have a Catholic who is a pro-abort. Now, how the fuck does that
It's
happen?
not a pro-abort. He's been a lifelong Democrat, and this is the main reason why we need separation of church and state, right? It's not about that. Okay? It's not. You don't, I mean, a fraction of a percent. I know what you're going to say, like post 12 months or whatever, 9 months, like 8.5, whatever it is. How many
partial birth abortion?
Partial birth. Yeah, these are crazed people. Who knows the situation?
Well,
it's so deeper than that.
Because
it'll never be solved.
Well, here it is.
But they're always going to pitch the extreme.
Yes, that's what they're selling you on. That's the hot button. That's clickbait.
I was smart enough to cut through that shit because I looked at the bill that New York passed. There is medical criterion that has to be met in order for that procedure to be done.
Sure.
Now, am I saying it's morally correct? I'm not going to make an argument on that. What I will tell you, if I'm in that situation, okay, and I have a child that's going to be born incredibly disabled.
Sure.
Take it and give and how do I want to say it? Go ahead, do the procedure. Or you come to me and say, it's the child or your wife. I'm telling you to save my wife.
Yeah.
Okay? These are the things that we're talking about. How often is someone coming?
That's what they campaign on, is not that.
They're campaigning on someone walking in.
You kill that baby, you're going to hell.
No, what they're campaigning on is someone walking into a hospital 8 months pregnant and saying, fuck this, I don't want to have this baby
Yes,
anymore.
and
that's not happening.
That's not happening.
It's not happening.
And that's just the stuff that scares older people.
Yeah, that's not what's going on.
It's not. And that's where, it's like you're pro-life or you're yeah. So you can't use it as a political move, a staple either, because it's just clickbait for the stage.
Well, and at the end of the day, like here, me, I'm a Christian, okay?
Yeah.
You know that. I'm a Christian. Yeah. Okay. Do I think abortion should be legal? No. I don't. Okay. Do I think?
But you're blanketing it, so you can't blanket.
You can't blanket. I agree with Tony.
You
Why?
can't.
Why can't you blanket
Because we just
abortion?
had this conversation 10 seconds ago.
Take partial birth out of the equation.
But that's what they categorize that as abortion.
Then your hands are tied, Rod. Listen, when me and your brother are on the street, and we're doing our job, right, as firemen, you got to make decisions quick. You gotta. It's life or death sometimes,
Sometimes, yeah.
And it's not black and white. That's really what I'm trying to say. I don't know where I was going to go with that, but it's not black and white, and neither is that subject.
Well, in our patients, when we're out there, doing a medical call or a fire, nothing is cookie cutter black and white.
Yes,
everything is. There's it's a various degrees of severity that you're going to encounter, and so you can't just be like, well, this is
it's triage, because you got to triage everything.
Here, but what I'm saying,
you can't just say I get where you're coming from as a Christian, but as a citizen of the United States of America, everybody has rights. It's like, okay, in your beliefs, right? In certain people's religious beliefs, they some can't eat pork, right? I mean, that don't mean you can't eat pork.
I love bacon.
No,
I mean, there's just levels to it, and your religious beliefs should not influence the laws that a non-denominational, like myself, someone who really doesn't know, that can admit I'm too dumb to believe in any type of, I believe that there's a creator, I guess you could say. I'm too, I guess scared to doubt that. But I'm not going to throw all my chips in one basket either. You know what I'm saying? So your laws for your religion shouldn't affect mine. Let's
that's
say,
the exact point that I'm making.
But that's what the right is really doing right now. They're
don't disagree.
using people's religious beliefs. That's what happened in Iran in the 60s. And that's where we're at right now. Look where that got us. I mean,
there's not any state that doesn't allow you to have an abortion in America.
Arizona right now, right? Or which
no
one?
shot it's Arizona.
They literally just they did something just on. It's been on the news. Yeah, it's a big hot button. They're trying to. It's in they're trying to.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, for me personally, if let's say, God forbid, one of my daughters got pregnant outside of wedlock, I would beg them not to have an abortion. I would do everything I could. I would offer every resource I have for them to not do that. But I simultaneously don't think that it should be illegal.
Now, let me throw a little wrench in, because this is where your audience is going to, this is what I do.
This is what he does. He ninjas your brain.
Yeah, I'm going to ninja your brain real quick. Okay, so the same side of the aisle, right? The Republicans, right? GOP, right? That are so pro-life, cut funding to adoption agencies and social programs for people like that.
Well, that's absurd. Why would you?
It's absurd. It's absurd. But
absurd.
So they're not pro-life, is what I'm saying. It's smoke and mirrors, right? You got to cut through. Actions always speak louder than words, right? You could say whatever. They say whatever. They're really good. Republicans are so good at campaigning, right? They always have been. Hell, Reagan, right? The great communicator is what they called him, right? He was great. I mean, we're looking for another. The Democrats. I say we because I've been a Democrat. I guess I identify more on that side, for sure.
My dad. Here, what's crazy?
Look, 42.
I have no idea what way my dad ever voted.
Yeah, wasn't talked about.
He never.
He would not verbalize who he voted for.
He would not verbalize who he voted for, but he did one time make a comment. I won't say who he made it about. Someone who I know is a staunch Democrat.
Sure.
And the comment that he made, and it wasn't, how Dad was, never a rude thing came out of it. He just simply said, I don't like his politics, which told me, now I know at this point, I'm 35 years old, or, I know my dad probably votes.
The Republicans and Democrats are not the same as they used to be.
No,
not at all.
Not at all. And I bet there were times that my dad did vote Democrat. Would he vote Democrat right now? No shot. Never in a million years would he do it.
I guess it would depend on how much he paid attention. because I think our entire community is a what do you call it? An echo chamber.
It also depends on where you're getting your
News
from.
Fox News got recategorized as an entertainment company.
They're all entertainment companies.
But
CNN
there
ain't no better.
No, it's not. I'm not a CNN guy.
I don't watch the news.
But
My mom sends me shit, and I tell her every time, quit. I don't watch the news for a reason.
But the articles are good, and you should read those.
They're good in Playboy, too.
Yeah, but I mean, you kind of, it's like, let's say like Ukraine right now, right? And Iran and Israel and all this stuff, NATO, think about, you had a president, our last president, right? Tried to pull our country from NATO, right? That's who we beat Hitler with. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Try to not pull everybody from, but like hold them all accountable, which I get. But at the same time, we're the shining star of the planet. You've got our greatest ally, Israel, right, in the Middle East, right? They're doing some travesties right there, But you can't.
Our greatest ally is probably Great Britain.
Well, sure, yeah, but they were also our probably own our money and everything else. They tried to conquer it, they tried to, taxation without representation, right? It's a Revolutionary War. So they probably still hold a little grudge against that too. But Israel, they're, with what they're doing with their problems in that region, great, it's crazy and it's over my head. But I do know this: without Israel, you've got, China and Russia over there can do whatever the hell they want, right?
We have to back Israel.
We have to because they keep them out of the Middle East.
Biblically, we have to back. Now, I know you don't care, but biblically,
no, I'm a historian. I love theologian. I'm a theologian, Rode. You know that. I'll sit and talk religion with you all the time.
We're supposed to back Israel.
If not, you give Russia and China control of 60% of the world's oil supply. You know what I'm saying? In Ukraine, they provide 20% of the world with wheat. Wheat. Think about that. You give Russia, you stop funding Israel, and you stop funding, Ukraine over there. Then all of a sudden, Russia controls the oil and controls most of the food that's provided to Europe.
Is it really about the commodities? Or is it really about the military-industrial complex winning and profiting? Because
it's always our economy's based on profit, on war. But
because at the end of the day, commodities, they fluctuate, and yes, we can say that we're going to war for that, but
we're changing so fast because the lithium, like in Taiwan right now, we can't let our China's buying our microchips
and our land around Air Force bases.
Yeah,
which I don't understand why we're allowing that to happen.
It's always, foreign countries can buy, or no, not foreign countries. I mean, China doesn't own them. A citizen of China owns these properties.
Well, right? I mean, and let's even
if they're even real. I don't know.
Are you allowed to own property in China?
You have to be a citizen of countries, most countries.
Let's circle back.
To buy property there.
Because if
Will China... you check that camera real quick?
Oh, man. We're recording. We're good.
All right.
Taiwan makes all the microchips and they got the lithium and, and Ukraine's got the lithium and stuff like that and all these deposits and huge deposits of what we're using going forward, right? And right now, we just found a massive thing in Wyoming, deposits of lithium, and we're going to start shifting, most of our industrial shit from China to Mexico. I mean, and Africa. We're kind of propping up Africa right now too. I mean, it's the world's changing right now, and
nobody wants to be relying on the other.
Exactly.
Why would you? I don't want to be relying on anyone.
I agree.
Well, it's a house of cards. It's been a house of cards. That's how it is. We saw it during COVID. I mean, it's a house of cards. How many people went without? Because I was lucky enough crazy, but I was lucky enough to have a job where, I was going to be working.
Hold on. I was fucked.
A lot of people.
I mean, and I was, and This was
Anybody in
before
the
any
beauty or health, beauty industry, they were screwed.
This was before any talks of PPP or any of that stuff. I mean, so here I am, for all intents and purposes. The only thing we were seeing at the time was post-op and trauma patients. That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had 4 clinics.
How many people were in pain sitting there on the wayside?
Yeah. Right. And look at what it did. I mean, to my bottom line, and that was a scary time. You didn't know how long it was going to last.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know what's crazy for me, and this is just how my brain works, right? During COVID, they forced all these businesses to shut down, right? And this, that, and the other, which all happened under your president. That you guys love.
Hold on.
Why do you say
I'm teasing? I'm teasing. I'm just.
I love him. He's one of my favorite people in the whole
he's
world.
crazy.
I'm not saying
but this is the thing. The lockdowns and stuff that all happened under him, and people.
But he didn't support it.
It doesn't matter. He was the commander in chief, guys. If you can't stand up to your bureaucrats, that's like you and your business, and people around you saying, Frank, you should do it this way. When you say, hell with it, I'm doing it this way. It's my business. I'll take the fall. I'll take the heat.
Well, but I'm going to listen.
He's done enough.
Yeah, you're going to listen to him.
Yeah,
but you don't.
I'm going to do what I want to do.
You don't have to go through with it.
Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I want. Right.
But he failed. I guess depending on how you look at it. He did do good in my opinion with the vaccine. A lot of people think what you want, right? The vaccine could have helped. It could not have. I mean, I had a dad that was 90 days in the hospital, 30 days on a ventilator, missed the vaccine, came out and our call volume started dropping once the vaccine came in. Think what you want. Think what you want.
That is factual. I mean,
so I'll give Donald Trump the credit on the vaccine, Operation Warp Speed. I'll give him all the credit in the world on the vaccine.
He's got a stockpile of ventilators.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but all that came under him, though, too, right? All the bad.
Well, you knew all the good and the bad were going to fall on him. And you knew you couldn't do that. The first pandemic that we've had in the recent times, you couldn't do that flawlessly.
Yeah, just like
impossible.
Just like a no, there's all, like I said earlier, there's peaks and valleys to all this stuff, right? And it's just, I mean, it was a crazy time, and when we have that, you got to where 3 million plus businesses closed, but there's somehow I did that. You remember those Biden stickers everywhere? Gas comes up, right? It's
some of the funniest stickers of all time.
Oh, the memes were great, but it's not the Apprentice, right? It's not the Apprentice. Think about it like this: every single member of Biden's cabinet's coming back, right? Come back. How many people in Trump's cabinet are coming back?
Do you
zero?
Do you know that is a hard zero?
It's a pretty hard zero. I mean, it doesn't have his attorney general, Bill Barr, said the guy's unfit. He's crazy. There's no,
He's not crazy.
He's crazy. He doesn't know the Constitution. He's
not crazy. He operates from a position of fuck you.
Yeah.
And the media doesn't like that. That's why
not many people did.
That's why I like him. Is because he operates from a position of fuck you. I'm jealous of anyone who gets to operate from a position of fuck you. Okay? He's going to do what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, and doesn't give a fuck. I like that.
Just grab it by the pussy, right? grab America by the pussy.
I knew that was eventually going to come out.
I love it.
And I think that came out the best way possible.
Listen, the man said he didn't want wounded veterans in front of his inauguration because it showed weakness, right? He said that. That's a real damn Donald Trump quote. What a monster, right? A monster. These men, no, he's a
move.
He's a draft dodger, right? He owns all his debt is owned by Russia. I mean, it's clear. It's Deutsche Bank. It's a Russian-based bank. I mean, how fucking clear does it have to be, right?
Listen.
I mean, the guy is the most treasonous person that we've ever seen, but we like him. because he says it like it is.
Well-
Fuck that. You're not supposed to say it like it is
Hold
as
on.
president. You're supposed to lead by example. You're supposed to try and be diplomatic. You're supposed to avoid conflict. He said, "Fuck it, we're gonna shoot them. You can come here. I'm gonna bomb the hell out of them." Is what he said. I mean, yeah, let's light the world on fire, right? It's you got to be strategic in these things, you know.
I love him.
There does
I know.
need to be some.
He's polarizing. I mean, he's
and that
Look,
to me, it's
hold
like
on.
a
You could-
frustration
you got all
talking
kind-
about him, you know. And
Hold on.
and I
Biden-
supported him. I thought he was going to be like Ross Perot. He wasn't. He tweeted 40 times a day. Who has time to do that?
I mean,
Do you have time to tweet and Facebook 40 times a day or Twitter?
I don't.
Exactly. And you're the president of the United States doing that shit. It's like
40 times a day.
look up his average.
He had to have
Tweet.
somebody tweeting for him.
Probably.
He
Here,
did. He did. He said he was like he'd be like, say this.
Yeah, put this out on my Twitters.
Yeah, it's all. It was like
he probably
a
had some
disruption.
at the
It's
specific
disruption
job.
politics, right? And if you weren't loyal to him, like if you said, "Hey, Frank, man, I don't think that's a good idea. We do that," he just embarrass you on public television, and then you would never get reelected. So everything you went to school for, you educated yourself, you worked your life to get, one man with an army of loyalists end your career just like that.
There is no open format to question anything he'd said, and I would imagine that his cabinet would say the same thing. Like, there's no
They are.
open format to go and say, you know what? What about this, this, and this? He's gonna be like, absolutely not. It doesn't align with exactly what I said. So if it doesn't align exactly with what I said,
He just
That's what the
refuses
top
to
1%ers
admit wrong.
do.
you're fired.
Yeah.
That's what 1%ers do.
Yeah, as they sit back and watch everybody else struggle.
He's-
You know, these are monsters, cuz I mean, you know, what's the seconds, right? Have you heard that, right? 1,000,000 seconds is how many you told me this the
I
other
told you
day.
that the other day. Like 1,000,000 seconds is like 7 days.
Yeah, and 1,000,000,000 seconds is what?
Like 31 years or like some are 30.
Some
34 years.
astronomical number. I don't know the math.
And then when you go into the billions, we're talking like
Trillions.
well, if we went from millions to billions to trillions, it's like 360,000 years.
Yeah, it's
A millionaire's got more in common with somebody who's dead broke than they do a
Yeah.
billionaire.
100%.
1,000,000 seconds is 11 days.
All right, that was 4 days off, but it's a lot. Okay, so go ahead.
What's a billion seconds?
Well,
1 billion seconds. 11 days, you said?
it's 11,500.
Think about the difference. It's a lot.
a
Go ahead
lot.
and $1 trillion seconds. See what that is.
Yeah, it's just.
What is that? 100,000 years.
I just think if you make this is where the socialism side of me comes out, right? You make $1 billion, you're clearing $1 billion. You got a liquid, or even in assets. Who cares? Billions of dollars in the assets. You know, we got housing crisis.
You're capped. You've made you.
Yeah, you should put a cap. I don't disagree with the salary cap.
What?
I don't.
That's fucking absurd.
Why do you need over $1 billion?
Why not?
Why?
If you earned it, you earned it.
But at that point, you've earned it. Yeah, you've built it. You've won the game, right? What are you going to do? Why do you need more?
I don't.
Why do you need everything that you and I could think of as middle class people from Kansas City, Missouri? You know, the way we. I mean, I could think of some pretty fun things to do and do some pretty dumb shit, and you know, and have some fun. But really, I'm just going to put a circle drive in.
You
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
no, you can't put a salary cap on people. You earn what you earn.
You could literally.
yeah, but
you could
I know
literally-
that's where
Look,
I'm hard to. It's
people
more complicated than that. But
If you got $1 billion, you can take.
these guys are shooting each other into space now.
Here,
I mean, they got nothing else to do. I mean, we could. So what they say? They got you know, Elon Musk has got all these hundreds of billions of dollars, right? But 32 billion will solve homelessness in this country, right, or something like that. And why wouldn't you just say, here, charitable contribution?
Yeah.
Right, 32 billion. I could live with 70 billion. Right? I mean, that's crazy. You're talking about a level of thinking. These people don't care
It's not about money.
anyone else.
When you get that amount of money, it's no longer about money. It's about power.
Yeah.
That's the currency. When money is no object, you have to work for something.
It's just, I don't know if our job
It's
did
power.
it to us or what, or to me anyway, but I have greatly been influenced by just public interaction. You see and my religion, right? You and I have had these talks, right? I had my daughter went for her,
We going to religion?
we'll dip our toe in for a second.
Okay. Go ahead.
Um,
We got a hard 3:20 stop time.
Cool. Yeah, we're
So
good.
go-
We're good. It's just a little story.
No, I will go to religion with you.
My daughter had her first communion, or not first communion, reconciliation, right?
So the atheist daughter had her first reconciliation.
Yeah, she's Catholic. She goes to Catholic school.
And you spend money to
Yeah,
put
she
him
can
in
make her
Catholic
own decision when she's older.
He's not an atheist.
Yeah, you call me an atheist. I told you I
feel-
wasn't.
He's
school?
not.
Okay, so then what? Agnostic?
Yeah, I guess probably close to that.
Closer to agnostic.
Yeah, I'd probably say that's a non-denominational.
Here, let's define a few things. Do you believe in a higher power?
Sure. There's no way to disprove it.
Do you believe that the reality that we have is created by intelligent design?
Yes and no.
Okay, well, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, that's
So you believe in a creator.
I don't not believe.
If you here's
an
how could you
agnostic.
believe in a creator but not believe that it was intelligently
Well, I
designed?
mean, like I think it's more of like a collective consciousness
so
kind of thing, right? 'Cause,
collective consciousness. We talking the
yeah, all are one, right?
We talking the
my
double-
body, my blood, all this stuff, right? You could say whatever you want. It's we're all broke down into atoms. We're all broke down into vibrations. We're all broke down into.
Are you worshiping the double slit experiment with the light particles that shoot through the two slits, and when it's observed, the conscious observer actually changes the wave pattern from waves to broken up particles?
Yeah, I'm not a worshiper of anything,
right.
but I understand it, and I think there's just
But that's what collective consciousness is what we're speaking to.
Go back to the baby's first reconciliation.
yeah. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I'll get real.
I know where the fuck it happened. I've sat there with you long.
Yeah. So anyway, we go in and she's like, "Dad, are you going to do it too?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm in a rock and a hard place now. We're at the door." And
Of course. How do you know?
so yeah, go ahead, honey. I'll go in this one, and I go in there, and I do the Father. It's been
40 years since my last.
at least 25 years. Since 04, right? Since I've been in, done confession, and I just said, "Fuck it. I'm going to let this guy have it. I'm going to unload on everything that I see, and that I've seen and dealt with, and hell, I've lost a brother.
Sure.
We've all had loss, but I just basically told him, I was like, I've been a fireman for 15 years now, and it was probably 13 at the time, and I just told him, I said, I've seen a lot of shit, Father. And I said, here's the thing. You can't go to therapy for this shit. I said, I've been indoctrinated, my whole life into Catholicism. That's what always draws me back. It's subconscious, right? Like I go into church, I still dip my finger in.
Well, you're
Make
doing
the
it out
sign
of
of the cross. It's whatever,
It's a ritual. It's not a relationship.
Rituals, yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And the more and I tell him, I'm like, he's either not all powerful or he's not all good, right? I said, there's bugs that are specifically
There's viruses in the programming.
there's bugs that like literal bugs that bore into like children's eyeballs and lay eggs in certain parts of the world. That's crazy if you created that. There's the ecosystem that whatever, cancer. There's people starving right now. There's homeless. There's people, that are in these horrible situations that we see daily, right? Every day, me and your brother go to work. It's someone else's worst day, right? That's heavy shit to deal with.
I couldn't do it. I commend you guys.
But that's what I'm saying. And it starts messing with your head
Sure.
and your politics and your religion. You're like, oh my God, this could all be solved if they had resources for this. Oh well, what about the community? What was it? Outreach. When they cut that funding. We can't source them to people anymore.
Sin in the world. So the shit that you're talking about that you see,
It's not sin, because
It's 100%
if you get
sin.
sick, you are not sinned.
Tom,
If you're born with a spinal bifida, you did not sin.
The result of all the bad shit
No.
the origin of the bad shit in this world is sin. It just is. God didn't
So you're
create.
saying that them biting that frickin' apple is the reason for all this?
This
pain.
world is 100% under the curse of sin. God did not create any of that.
We were forgiven of all our sin.
Huh?
I thought Jesus died for our sins.
He did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the world's not under the curse of sin. It is. The world is under the curse of sin.
I listen. That's just to me. I love you, but I think that's a cop out for a lot of the other shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it's you can't just blanket it again with religion.
I think religion is shit. I don't like religion.
It's.
I think religion causes all kinds of bad things. But
religion is a way to
I mean, and we're
the
talking
masses in order to say believe
talking
exactly
about
what I believe.
relationship.
Right, I understand.
I'm talking about relationship. I'm not talking about religion. What I'm saying to you is I think people want they want to go to the cross and be
some people need it.
But some people want to be quote unquote cured, or they want their problems to go away, but at the same time they don't want to address the sin in their life. And if you don't address the sin in your life, then I don't think I'll tell you right now.
That may work for some people. That may work for some people.
I don't believe God can act on your behalf if you don't address your sin. I don't think the power of the cross is there if you do not address your sin.
I think that when it comes to the cross, right, and I think it's more, what's it called? Astronomical, astronomy based. I think that when it comes to Catholicism, I think it's a big business.
But you know how I feel about Catholicism.
Yeah, I know. And I told this priest that, and I said, listen, man,
I want to hear more about this confession.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, the church has spent billions to cover up, pedophiles.
Yeah.
How in the hell do we do that? Yeah. And here I am, a hypocrite, sending my kids to Catholic school.
Well, it's the lesser of the two evils.
Right. And I'm tired. I'm just tired of all that lesser two evil bullshit.
My kids go to Catholic school.
But it's true. I know. And it's the community. It's the indoctrination. That's a hot button topic. When I say that a lot, I get people irritated when I say that I've been indoctrinated by Catholicism.
Here, most kids are indoctrinated by what their parents did. Now, me personally, okay, my kids, they go to Catholic Mass. We go to non-denominational church. And if my kids came to me when they're older and said, hey, we want to be confirmed and we want to be Catholic, you know what? Fine. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Right? Where me and Andrew...
They can lose their faith if they want to later in life.
We were indoctrinated into the Catholic Church. Our dad was a devout Catholic.
Sure.
Mom pretty much just kind of followed dad's lead, I feel like. I'm not saying mom wasn't a devout Catholic, but she wasn't like dad.
No,
my mom's that way. My dad's probably the same.
Yeah, my dad, like wherever we were at, he found mass, right? So what I'm saying is we were indoctrinated into the Catholic Church. But as we got older, we realized
it's the more you know. It's the more you know. So you could start.
It wasn't like it was the more I know. What happened to me was I realized I'm just not getting anything out of this. So fuck it. I'm not going anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you stop going and
blasphemer.
Right. So you stop going and then you try something else and you're like, wait a second. this struck a nerve with me.
Yeah.
And, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back. So it's like, I look at religion
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say a birthday. Okay. So look, how do you like to celebrate your birthday? What do you like to do?
Nothing really.
Well, that's me
Lay
too.
back, just
lay
a
back
hot
and do
cocktail.
nothing.
Yeah,
Somebody may
maybe a
wanna
little
go
bit.
out.
Yeah,
Somebody
go eat
may-
to dinner. I just really just want to be with my wife and kids. most
Right.
of the time.
Or somebody may want to go out and get hammered.
Yeah.
Someone may want to go out and go out of town. So they celebrate their birthday differently. I celebrate my faith differently.
Yeah, sure.
But I believe the exact same thing all the Catholics
we
are
just
saying.
can't force other people.
Hold
to,
on a second. You believe all the same things, right?
No, there's some things about the Catholic Church that I don't believe. I grapple with transubstantiation. I grapple with the whole concept of the catechesis, and I really grapple with the Bible not being the basis of the whole entire.
Well, that's the thing. It's not. It's the people. Like I always laugh at people. I'll poke the bear with people and say, it's more. You've got. I think more people in our community, right, are. I don't want to say asleep at the wheel with their belief system, but they're just kind of going through the motions. I think a lot, and
So
Hold on.
I'm
What were we saying?
yeah. Basically, I think a lot of people just kind of go through the motions, and most people don't know
checking a box.
anything about it.
Hold on. If you went to 90% of Catholics, particularly the old ones,
Yeah.
and asked them what's transubstantiation, they
I'm
ain't gonna
not sure what it is. What is it?
Catholics believe that during the consecration, the bread and wine is the substance changes from the bread and wine to the body and blood. That is the main thing that separates Catholicism from non-denominational.
Yeah, it's supposed to be symbolic.
But that's not how they believe it. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you also,
guaran-
if you were circumcised in the Old Testament, you're going to hell.
I guarantee you, if you go into every church in the Northland this weekend and ask 50%, and you ask every single one of them,
Yeah.
what's transubstantiation? Half of them don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And people think I'm insulting them when I talk religion with and I'm not. I just
these are two topics that people normally steer from, but I don't think that they should be steered from.
It's just it's hard for people to comprehend. Not everybody can comprehend or understand those things. They kind of get you that blank stare, and then they get aggressive when they can't.
Well, but they also
They can't verbalize it as well either.
They're not. They're having the conversation. So, like you and I, we differ on some things.
Sure.
They're having the conversation to try to change your mind. Or
Yeah,
that's
no.
not what you do.
Not at all.
You can't have the conversation.
I am. They think I am, but I don't.
Right.
I don't care what you believe. I'm going to tell you what I think from an outsider looking in, and what I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to tell you, hey, this is what I think, and it could be this. I'm not saying it's this way or that or.
You like to have people actively thinking.
Yes, and it gets, and I like, and when someone gets uncomfortable, I'll back off. But if they're uncomfortable and aggressive, then
You're gonna hammer 'em.
Then I'm gonna just
Stick it in.
and twist a little bit, have a little fun. Then I'll start busting their balls a little bit, and then I'll bring others in, and but I don't mean to.
So here, you talked about your loss with your brother.
Yep.
Do you not want to have the belief that
sure.
one day you'll be with them again?
Yes, but I'm not gonna say that you have to be a Catholic to do that.
Here, take Catholic out of the
I
equation.
know, but that's who believes in that heaven.
Christians too.
Right? Well, sure.
Christians and Catholics are really different.
I think that I am. I think it's all there now, right?
What do you mean?
He's here right now, and we're all a part of the same stuff, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I think he is a part of me, and he's a part of my children, and he'll live forever, right? My wedding ring is my brother Sam's, right? I lost mine in the lake 2 weeks into my marriage. And
that makes me sick.
I know, it was a tungsten one. So
right. I mean, I don't even know how much mine was or what, but it's so sentimental to me. I only wear it when we go out. I wear this rubber thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll
That's
tell you, this is the first day I've worn. I don't know why.
Well,
so
your
weird.
job, you got to take it off probably. That's why you got to have the
But
rubber one.
honestly, I never wear it, and I just I don't know if it.
You don't want the ladies looking in on the podcast and be like, is he
Yes, exactly. I kind of was like, I should probably wear my ring. I'm looking good right now.
That's what I said.
But
I haven't been hit
I
on
figure I bring some good luck to
20
it.
years. I don't even need a ring.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the time, 99% of the time, I don't wear it. But it's weird that you brought that up.
I never used to wear it. And Michelle used to get aggravated with me. I'm like, Michelle, I got to be honest with you. I only saw my dad's wedding ring after he was dead in a picture with my mom in Vegas. There's a picture with my mom on his honeymoon.
Where he's got it on.
And he's got the ring on. I don't know where it's at. Do you have it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've never saw the ring on the
Shit
man's
happens.
hand. He never wore it. So I just was like, yeah, my dad didn't wear it. When I first put it on, it drove me crazy.
Yeah, the water underneath it.
Drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But then
Yours is big though. That's mine's
this
like
is rubber.
I know, but it's still big.
Yeah. So
Like twice the width.
So Michelle wanted me to wear it. Okay, I'll put it on. Now, if I don't have something on my finger, drives me crazy.
Really,
Drives me crazy.
But back to what you're saying, I do. It'd be nice to if there was this, I don't think it's going to be like white robes and pearly gates and St. Peter's at the door saying, "Hey, did you make it? Come on in, cuz."
It's an energy thing.
Yeah, I think it's more. There's a.
We cease to we when we transform,
Yeah, I look at our bodies as a vessel.
We
is.
drop
Right,
into-
I know, and
But that doesn't mean you won't have a new unified body.
but yeah, sure. But I think you're going to come back. Sometimes.
Fuck that.
I know. I think if you, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I think
No.
there's a possibility of it. I don't know if it's real or not. And I think if you
hope
want to
not.
stay, you can stay. But
I'm
I think if you
staying.
want to come back, you can come back.
There are those weird instances where children actually have said to have some sort of connection to a past.
Yeah, it's
life.
an old soul, right?
Yeah, the old soul.
The
thing.
old soul,
and they can
right?
actually
Your brother Frankie,
Oh yeah,
complete
Always
old
been that
soul.
way.
Oh my God, yeah,
they can actually
Mikey Mormino.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
they can actually cite, like, there was this kid who was having these visions and dreams of World War II,
Yeah.
and
Internet sensation.
the planes he was flying and the person who he was flying with and the battalion he was a part of, and they fact checked all this stuff and literally found out that this individual, this kid, there was no way he could have known these things.
Yeah. It's all unexplained. It's all.
I hope that's not true. I don't want.
Well, no, I think you got a choice when it comes down to it. I think you can
making
either
my mind up right now. I do
you
not
can
want to come
you
back.
can face the you can go back if you think you got
The only way I want to go back is if he says you fucked up on the first one. You're either going to hell or you got to go back and
Well,
do a
I
better
think you
job.
do. I
Then
think
I'll
you
go
need to
back.
learn. I think that's where you keep. There's
I
a
would say,
movie
okay, I'll
back
go
in the '90s called. It might have been.
The Heavenly Kid.
No, not that's a great. That's a great one though. Yeah. Defending Your Life,
Oh,
where the guy goes to purgatory. He's a Jewish guy, a comedian.
what's his name? He's hysterical.
Yeah.
He does the voice of the dad in Finding Nemo. What
Yes.
is his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah. Marlon.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. Though.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's
Great
one of my.
movie.
It's like, okay, I could see that. Like something along these lines. Obviously a higher vibrational. Whatever. But I just think there's no. When it comes to religion,
Okay,
it
but
has no business with politics.
So hold on. You've done a lot of due diligence on a lot of things.
Sure.
Okay. Have you ever read the Gospels? Be honest.
Yes, throughout my life, yeah, but not as
Have
an
you
adult.
ever
Not as currently as an adult. I
okay,
started the old book, the Old Testament, several times.
Did you get America's Bible?
I'm never going to give that a man $1 that's going to put. Yeah, that monster. He's selling Bibles now. Road with the Constitution and all that stuff. He's a charlatan, right?
I'll get you sidetracked. Keep going.
But yeah, the
Literally, what I'm saying is, have you ever
got yourself to where you actually even get someone who's smarter than you and knows the Bible more than you to really break it down for you.
Yes, and I had a couple of theologians that were kids that were seminary that I cut, and we would have these great talks about this stuff too. And, I would still stick them with that left jab, and say, well, what about this? And then it's like, well, it's up for interpretation. There's so many things that, the word, the message of Jesus is great. Yeah, everybody be socialists, right? Everybody be giving all their money and we be living for each other. But we're not that way. We're more like the Romans than we are like the Savior, right? Hold on. And we are.
Hold on. I don't disagree with that at all.
We're more like Pontius Pilate because we're and the ones that crucify. But here's like somebody said this the other day and it really kind of stuck with me. I saw it flipping through TikTok, right? The Chinese government's watching on TikTok, but this guy said he said Moses' name did not change, right? Noah's name did not change. Hell, Gad, Asher, Dan, Joseph's brothers, none of them changed, right? Why did Jesus of Nazareth's name change? There was no J's until like the 1700s in any writing, right?
From Yeshua to Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, Yahweh. I mean, why aren't we?
Satan's,
why
the devil's name changes. It went from Lucifer to Satan to the devil.
The devil is like a horned beast,
Oh, the devil is the devil is the
devil
accuser.
is mythos.
Now, Lucifer was his name before the rebellion. That just means the shining one.
He was the angel, the light bringer, right? All that shit.
And then once he got kicked out, he underwent a name change to Satan, which just means adversary. So names in the Bible mean something.
Yes, but the title of Jesus Christ is a title. It's not his name.
Really the Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christo or whatever they call it, right? But the Christ, that could also be the horns that appeared on Moses' head, when he was having divine, that could be the title of just someone that has that power, that healing power and vibrational, wavelength, right? I think it's a power, right? More so. And I'm not saying Jesus didn't exist. God, everybody wants to, if you don't believe in Catholicism. But all I'm saying is it was written, all these accounts were written hundreds of years after, right? It'd be like John Smith and the Book of Mormon at the time. It'd be like Mormonism is to now.
I think it's
writings.
Joseph Smith.
Joe Smith, whatever. John Smith's Pocahontas. Right?
Yeah. Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
You look into the hat and you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. The timelines, it'd be like that. Like how new Mormonism is to now, right? Is how new the Bible, with the written form of the accounts of Jesus were. And then you've got the Council of, I think it was Nicaea, that removed books from the Bible. They call that the Apocrypha.
I think that was the Council of Trent.
One of the two. Right. It was either Trent or Nicaea. Because I'm not fluid and all that stuff, but I haven't,
Well, don't take it as Gospel of Paul with me. I think it's Council of
Yeah, no, it's one of the two.
It was a council of something.
Council of something, a bunch of men that took out books, that didn't fit the narrative. And that's all I like to point out. You know what I'm saying? There's a clear narrative, just like there's a clear narrative in politics. It was all but you had China at the time was just as civilized and is so far advanced than this region of where Christianity was born. You know what I'm saying? There was other parts of the world thriving at the time as well. It wasn't just this center part that existed and then all life branched from there.
So if we're going to separate and say that the Apocrypha taken out was a narrative being pushed, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, they say Mary Magdalene had a guy. I mean,
is it safe to believe that there could possibly be some books that are currently worthy to be in the Bible that have been discovered in the
Enoch
recent 120 years?
The Book of Enoch
that are not being put in there.
There's the current form of Catholicism does not fit the narrative of the Apocrypha.
You say Catholicism, but we're talking about the Bible, which
talking
is
about
for all
Christianity.
Christians.
Sure. Okay. So the Bible in general, it doesn't fit like. So then we can transition this again into one of my other favorite topics, which is, but we ain't got enough time. We'll have to save this for another one. But
Yeah.
we'll get you there. Is the ancient history that at that same time, right? The book of Enoch talks about how he was brought into heavens and saw these things and these divine
Enoch.
angels
But
and
so did John the Baptist.
and Ezekiel. You know, they all have these accounts with these beings, right? And they refer to them, you know, too as the.
You check that camera again.
Yeah, I think we're good, Frank.
Go on, Tone. Sorry.
No, you're good. The wheel upon a wheel is of discs. You know, I mean, the artwork that at the time. I mean, there was all these things. You know, a light that did not burn. Right. That's a flashlight shining down on a bush. Right. I mean, it's just there's. I think in ancient history, you have to take into account with all religion and all things, right? You got to go back even further, right? And before, like the flood, Noah's Ark, right? It's literally the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? Which is a Sumerian tale, right? Adama and Eva were the literal Sumerian tablet, first man and woman, right? I mean, these are direct copyright infringement, right? Dead Sea Scrolls, all that stuff. But there was more to it in like Sumeria, right? Which came before the Egyptians, which was all very much in the Old Testament, right? And the cultures overlap, right? And they God, it's vibrating.
That thing, that's brutal, that one. We got to get a different mic stand.
That's okay. I'm animated. You know,
You're preaching to the choir.
that picture we did with the Italians in front of the concourse, with all the firemen. Somebody said on Facebook when we posted it, you could tell they're all being quiet because nobody's moving their hands. Right? So
Should be a big blur.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I moved my hands. That's the vibrating.
Ancient Sumeria. Go back.
Ancient Sumeria. You know, the Epic of Gilgamesh. There's a flood, right? There's all things in common with religion, right? You got a flood, you got giants, you got dragons. They're in all religions, right? Leviathan in the Bible is a dragon, serpent, giant serpent lives in the sea. You know, I mean, it's in everything, right? So you got to go back even further, right? And you know, who's the most famous giant of all time next to Andre?
Goliath.
Goliath, right? Goliath.
Andre was a great.
Goliath come from a tribe, you know, right? The Philistines,
Mm-hmm.
right? There was lots of giants, but we only talked about one. Right? Well, in Genesis, they call them the Nephilim, right? It's crazy, yeah. It's in the Bible. First Genesis 6, there were giants in those days. And they took the daughters of man and bore basically they created demigods, right? From Greek mythology, Hercules, right? So Zeus came, they all kind of mirror, right? God came down, found a woman, had a son. That son was, you know, right? Savior of so-and-so, right? Zeus came down, had Hercules, right?
I think people take the Old Testament for fairy tale because it's so hard to
but
wrap
it's
your mind
ancient. It's ancient,
and I can
it's
believe
older.
that it's actual factual. If you believe,
Well, we
in the
know
Bible,
that all the
it's factual.
kings of, you know, in the Exodus, those are all, you know, the pharaohs and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, the stories that were they're copied, right,
Right.
and used in the Bible,
The story of creation
are based on the Sumerian tablets. And when you get into Sumeria, you get into a race of giants that, you know, were all over ancient texts, right? I used to love reading about this stuff. Now, just because I know it doesn't mean I believe in it. Just so I want to elaborate on that. You know, there's a lot of things that go into religion and its own, influences, right? Everything today is influenced by others. And it's just, like I said, back to who I am and what I do. There's all sorts of aspects that need to go into the machine, right? That influence our decisions and our opinions. And I just like to challenge people's thought processes in those things, especially when it comes to religion and aliens, extraterrestrials, politics, whatever it may be, right? I can't put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to religion, simply because there's just too many layers to it and too many influences by past religions, and especially one of the youngest religions, which is, Christianity. Right. And you can't take into account any of the others. You gotta look at the others. Buddhist, Muslim, especially Muslim. I mean, that's like the tree.
Well, the God that the Muslims worship is the same God that the Catholics worship.
Yeah, it's the same God. It's the same God. It's the same.
Their means
part
to
of
the
town.
end is different. Their means to the end is different. That's all. Our means to the end is Jesus. The Christians' means to the end is Jesus. Period. Case closed.
It is.
That's it. I mean,
It is.
Now the means to the end for the Muslims, I've never studied the religion.
But Jesus said the means to the end is you.
Huh?
Right? I mean, yourself. You are Christ. Right? You are.
He's the way, the truth, the light. No one comes to the Father unless.
Yeah, but he's in everybody. Right? Is what
the Holy Spirit is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's that's where I struggle sometimes. It's a constant battle.
Well,
It's okay to be seeking and struggling.
Yeah, but I'm smart enough to know I don't know everything.
well,
I guess that's what it is. That's really what it all boils down to.
Struggling with faith is something that even the most devout people deal with.
Sure.
I mean, Jesus.
Why have you forsaken me?
Why did you forsake
Yeah,
me? I mean,
no,
so
exactly.
come on. I mean, so the fact that you struggle and grapple doesn't necessarily mean that you're a non-believer. Right?
Somebody I saw it's in bad taste if you're offended by religious memes, but somebody said he died for our sins, but then he was resurrected in 3 days. He only gave up a weekend.
Well, here, as far as like agnostics,
Sure.
atheists, I understand the position. Okay,
Yeah.
I get now. I don't have patience for scientific atheists. I have zero patience for them. But
Yeah.
Well,
You get to the same point. They just call it a different name.
Well, but no, it's not, because an atheist can just say, "Hey, I grapple with this concept. I get that.
Yeah.
It's okay. I understand that. I've grappled with it. I could be in church and grapple with it. Okay.
Sure.
So for an atheist to come to me and just say, "Hey, you know what? I just grapple with it. I'm not buying into it." I get it. But if you come to me and say science disproved the existence of God, no, it hasn't.
No, it can't.
It doesn't have the
There's no way
capability
to
of
do
doing that. It doesn't have the capability to prove or disprove.
Yes, exactly.
So when you come to me and posture behind big bad science, I get kind of aggravated.
No, you can't. I mean, you're ignorant to think that.
You're gonna aggravate.
You just.
Even atheists who are scientists think scientific atheism is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but yeah, you can't.
Well, here, David Berlinski is an atheist and the world's leading quantum physicist, and basically will say scientific atheism is horseshit.
Yeah.
It's
It's to each their own. I mean, it's the beauty of that's the whole system that we live in here in this country. You got the freedom to do whatever the hell you want, and believe what you want, that's. I'm not like I said. Yeah, I'm not gonna say a hard no that it ain't there. Or, sure, I'll be disappointed if I don't see I walk in when I die to, my house in Northeast and everybody that I've ever known's there, and a big old party breaks out, and you know what I'm saying? I mean,
you think I don't?
Yeah, I'm with you, guys. I'll tell you one.
I don't think. Just so we clear this up, I don't feel like time is linear, because if I got to heaven and saw the people that I haven't been connected to that have passed, and didn't get to see the people that we're on Earth, that's still not heaven.
Yeah.
To me, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
something that I
What a
very
great-
much grapple with.
What a great point.
It's an incredible point because you're losing either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why
That's why I think it's just like you're back into the.
that's why I feel like time isn't linear. It doesn't necessarily move in a straight line. When you go, your people are already there. Everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of like Vanilla Sky. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
You should watch that with Tom Cruise. It took me a couple watches to kind of like get it, but like he was. I can't even talk to you about it. I'll ruin the movie. Yeah, but
I just gotta watch it.
Vanilla Sky is a great movie.
So like me and my kids they had went over the Second Coming, and I'm like, and they were kind of unnerved by it, and I'm like, absolutely not. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
We all go together, right? Because that's
maybe.
Well, yes. Some people are going to be left behind, according to what the Bible says, right?
Yeah,
right. But my thoughts are like, I mean, here, let's say,
But you also got to understand, with that same coin, he releases the devil onto the earth, and that's all a part of it.
well,
So you're punishing and ripping people to shreds and burning them in lakes of fire, but you're also like, but I love you. Come with me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's where I say he's not all good.
Or he's not all powerful.
Or he's not all powerful.
Tone, listen, I'll tell you right now. I would love to hear someone way smarter than me answer that question.
Yeah, no, Phil,
okay, because
I don't think anybody can. That's
I don't
the
have a
difference.
rebuttal.
If someone thinks they're smart enough to answer that question, then they're a jackoff.
I mean,
We're here. Let all the jackoffs put that in the comments.
Yeah.
Please do your best to try to answer the fact of he's either all good or
Well, I mean, if we're all in his image too, there are some
here, listen.
bad shit.
Listen.
That's done. I mean, more people have died in the name of God.
That's not God's fault.
No, but hell.
That's not God.
he's
That's
right.
people's fault.
Well, yeah, because people are monsters.
Yeah, I mean, but here, listen. I've grappled with that same thing.
Sure.
Anyone who has
so here's another. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off.
anyone who has experienced loss, and what I mean by loss, I'm not talking about your 90-year-old grandmother died,
Sure.
right? I'm talking about your brother gets, your brother dies when he's what's Sam 22?
Yeah.
Okay,
22,
you lose someone out of what we would consider chronological order.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone who's had that happen to them is going to ask that question.
Sure. And it's going to change and mold who you are.
Right, sure, it will. Now, one thing that was told to me is that really, really helped me was that God does not take anyone. God receives everyone.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it's like, okay, did God take Sam? No, he didn't, but he received him. Did God take my son or Nina? No, but he did receive them. Other things took them. Other things in this world that are present because of sin.
Yeah.
Right? So,
But not everything. Well, like earlier you said all bad comes from sin.
I agree with that.
No, I know you do, but I don't. Yeah, that like to where maybe I don't fully understand.
well, we can't define that right now because we've said that we don't. We wrestle with the question, either he's not all good or not all powerful.
Yeah, I think everything's in his image, and it's all part of chaos, right? It's just the chaotic nature of, I think, that type of power. If you are able to develop universes and planets and suns and solar systems and rage and tidal waves. I mean, think about the chaos that involves, smashing of atoms and planetary objects, right? I mean, that's
circular, globe-like,
spherical planets.
for all the people, the flat earthers out there.
The Earth isn't flat.
Well, we
Most
got to
obscure.
have you back on.
Sure, I'd love to. I'd love to come back.
He's a regular guest now. I mean,
We got to maybe do like once a quarter.
yeah, no.
Yeah, anytime you guys want, we'll make it work. I'll come bullshit with
What
you.
we really need to do is maybe like get you and like my mom, because my mom will get aggravated.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want to aggravate nobody. I do enough of that on the internet. It's just, yeah, I'd love to just sit and bullshit, and then we can cover all things. You know, you just naturally, hell, we had no plan on any of this. I
never do.
I'm sure I jumped around a bunch.
Who's Joe Rogan's? Was it Tony Russo that always comes on regularly? What's his,
Oh yeah, I forget his name.
the comedian.
Comedian
It's
guy.
funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's who you are for
just
us.
in complex, and we'll hit different things. I mean, like I said, I don't want to think that
Well,
yeah.
since we know that we're going to have Tony back on,
I got to get the fuck out of here, and
He's
you keep
gotta go.
dragging this thing on.
Well, here we can't end the podcast like that
Yeah.
now. So, since we know we're going to have you back on, leave some questions in the comments. So
There
that
you go.
yes, I'd love that.
do that.
That'd be fun.
we can
that.
add up to that. And then Frank, you can tell me to go fuck myself
All
now.
right. Thanks. Love you guys.
All right.